The second wine that we have in the Dornier range, being straight varietals as mentioned earlier, is the Merlot. Now Merlot is something that I think is very difficult in South Africa. Number one, our climate is probably not the best climate for Merlot. So here at Dornier we work really hard on Merlot and trying to get sort of an equal ripeness and just get the ripeness to be at the right stage. A lot of people talk about optimal ripeness, and this is something we work really hard at. We've employed a strategy here called NDVI, or it's more commonly known as sort of aerial photography with infrared. So what we'll do is we'll take a photo of the vineyard in infrared, and this will tell us where the weak patches are and the more vigorous patches are within the vineyard. And it doesn't to say that the weak patches are better or the stronger patches, the more vigorous patches are worse. It's just to try and even the ripeness, because obviously the weaker patches will probably ripen a little bit before the more vigorous patches. So it's to try and even out the vineyard and even out our picking strategies. And we have found, however, that the weak patches do tend to produce a lot better fruit, better tannins, more riper characteristics. So hereby we will separate within a vineyard. It could be a 2-hectare size vineyard. We could separate 4 different sections, and we'll ferment them all separately, age them separately. At the end of the day, we'll decide whether we're going to blend them together or not. And this is the most crucial fact behind making the Merlot and behind making it good, because it requires a lot of work in the vineyard, a lot of canopy work, a lot of breaking out of the leaves, thinning out the bunches. And I think this is the most important factor when it comes to making a good Merlot. So now to focus on the Merlot, we ferment it in tank, and we also use the same process as most of our red wines. We do pump overs twice daily. With the Merlot we do a little bit of a cold soak before, so as we get the grapes in we delay the fermentation by keeping it quite cold. This just enhances the fruit, also sort of slows down the onset of fermentation, so that you get a nice slow gradual fermentation. After that, malolactic fermentation is done in tank, and then it goes to barrel. We employ about a 35% new oak portion on the Merlot. Merlot can handle oak quite well, and it really integrates the wine nicely, softens the tannins, although Merlot is known for softer tannins. On this Merlot 2006 vintage, probably one of the best vintages that we've had in the past few years. 2006 created wines with great fruit, great tannin structure, wines that will actually last quite a while. On the nose for me, a lot of fruit. It's got some of those sort of nice red berry fruits, got some cloves, definitely evident of the wood aging. There are some sort of characteristics of fynbos, some nice richness, and also sort of it's starting to get a nice age characteristic to it as well. Although it is now 4 years old, so it's starting to now develop some slight tertiary characteristics, which is excellent. Also on the nose, there's a little hint of sort of a bit of caramel onto it, sort of a caramel roasted characteristic. On the palate, it's Merlot. It's got a softer tannin than what Cabernet normally has. But that's what we desire, that's what you want from Merlot. It's got a nice refined characteristics, nice and very elegant. Probably drinking a lot better than the cab equivalent of this year would be. Nice persistency. It's a really well-made wine. We pay a lot of attention to it. We don't make a massive amount of it, but it's a wine that you can definitely cellar for a few